Good morning and welcome to 365 Days of Stories with Theo Mayer. This is day 17 and I'm going to begin the story of Lenka, the fisherman's daughter. Once there was an incredibly beautiful town just to look at and walk through, but also a beautiful town in which to live. It was right along the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. And many of the people there made their living by fishing. There was always enough food, and money wasn't so much passed from hand to hand, as were goods. Those who didn't fish typically lived a little bit inland, on plots of land where the soil was rich and things grew easily and animals fared well. There was an abundance of everything that you could want or desire in order to satisfy your hunger and your taste. Beautiful orchards of trees, both nuts and fruits, vineyards, olive groves, and there was an abundance of figs. The thing that was amazing is that everybody seemed to join in keeping the town beautiful. Houses were well kept. If anything was falling into disrepair, either the householder that lived there would take care of it, but if they couldn't, someone would show up, or a couple or a few people would show up and fix things so that everything always looked good. Now, one of the most beautiful parts of walking through the streets was that underneath almost every window, there were flower boxes with flowers blooming almost through the entire year. Why? Because the climate was temperate. Never got too hot, nor did it ever really get too cold. Such a place to live. When people would walk and pass by each other in the streets, it's said that they would say to each other, "Allegra," or "joy to you in the day." What a beautiful thing. Well, the king who ruled over the land in which the town was loved it as well. He often would go there. Sometimes not in his royal garbs at all, so that no one would really recognize him. And there he would lounge sometimes on the beaches, swim in the waters, listen to the seabirds, watch as the wind played and danced across the waters, and listen as the waves gently broke upon its shores. The coast was not just sandy, but rocky as well. There were many places where the rocks just jutted into the ocean. And almost on every day, you could look out and see fishing boats plying the waters, casting their nets, seeing what they might be able to pull in. Well, the king loved that town more than any other place in his kingdom. And he decided at one point that he wanted to honor the people there for keeping it so beautiful, and also to enhance it perhaps that much more. And so he called to the council people. There were 6 or 7, maybe 8 of them, men and women, who oversaw any of the decisions that affected the community. He called them together one day and said to them that he wanted the town to build a town hall and that he would fund it. All they needed to do was come up with a plan. He would approve it, make any changes that he felt were needed, and then he would finance the entire thing. Well, within a week, The council people had put together a plan. They had had a few of the members draw up a beautiful design for a town hall. It was presented to the king, who loved it. He made a few changes, sent it back, and within days, work started. And it was within a year that the town hall had been completed. There's a lot of beautiful stonework that was done. Marble harvested from the mountains to the north. It was 2-story with a large outdoor terrace surrounding the entire building. Beautiful landscaping and gardens. There was a fountain. The first floor was mostly for gathering and celebrating. Probably the whole community could almost fit within those walls on the first floor. And from the first floor, there were 2 stairways that curved up to the second floor. On the second floor, there were meeting rooms, each of them with a portico that offered an incredible view of the surrounding landscape and the sea. Well, when it was finished, of course, there was going to be a celebratory opening day, and the king was invited. He showed up in a carriage drawn by 4 horses. It was open air, like, one of our convertibles. He arrived, and the council people had made arrangements for a spectacular celebration. There were tables spread with the most exquisite food. The chefs and bakers and cooks that were within the community had all been requested to make their favorite and most fabulous dish, with enough to provide food for everyone within the community and anyone that the king would have brought in his retinue. Tables were spread. There were stages set up for musicians and performers, storytellers, dancers. And the terrace was cleared for celebratory dancing once the music began. Well, there were 2 strong young men that were standing at the top of the stairs that led into the town hall. At the top of those stairs were 2 doors that opened into the town hall, and they were open. The 2 men, when the king arrived, rolled out a red carpet down the stairs, across the terrace, and down the stairs to the street where the king had pulled up. He was delighted. Large smile across his face to see such a beautiful building had been built. It was the town beautified just that much more. As he walked up, there were crowds that were on either side of the red carpet, wishing to gain a glance or a smile from the king. Flower petals had been strewn in front of the king as he walked by fair maidens as they approached the door. And as they got out of the way, at the top of the stairs were the council people waiting. The king got to the top of the stairs and he turned and looked out over the crowd that was there assembled to greet him. The beautiful landscape, it was a beautiful day. The sea looked incredible. The colors of darkish blue and turquoise were just filling his senses with delight. The sea breeze, the sound of the ocean below. And he turned and then glanced into the hall. The marble work was incredible. He saw the stairs curving up to the second floor and then looked at the huge wooden door standing open, milled from timbers from the forests in the mountains again to the north. Then he looked up. Above the doors there was an inscription on a curved piece of wood. Carved into that wood were the words, "We live without worry." The king's smile changed. First he looked a little perplexed, but then it seemed he started to frown. The thoughts that went through his mind. He worried all the time. He worried about the people in his kingdom. Did they have enough? Was everything good? What more could he do? What more could he give? What more could he do to provide for the needs of the people? Was his army strong enough to repel any invaders from the north? For you see, the town and his kingdom was on basically a peninsula of land with sea on either side. And then he began to get cross. If these people live without worry, maybe they should have a little bit worry. Maybe if they worried a little bit, they'd contribute a little bit more and make my life a little bit easier. Well, the council people were watching this transformation take place with the king and were wondering what was going on. A couple of the men began to stroke their beards and pull on their whiskers a little bit in concern. And then the king called to the council people, please, please, come with me. Let's stop for a moment, he said. They went into the center of the hall. He said, I live with worry every day, and I don't mind the words above the door so much if it was true for all of us. But I find that it is not, because my worries are endless. My worries for you and the rest of the people of my kingdom. That you have put that above the door vexes me sorely. And as a result, I'm going to give you a riddle to solve. If you cannot solve this riddle, I shall have you come to my palace and serve me in the way I see fit, that you will know and understand what worry is to live with. Well, the council people, you might imagine, began to worry a little bit what was going to happen, and then thoughts of being pulled from their homes and having to live in service like that to the king might not be so great. The king said, here is the riddle. What is the sweetest thing in life? What is the strongest thing in life? And what is the most precious? Solve that within a week and all will be well. And if you do not, I shall be seeing you in my palace. I hope you enjoy your celebration today. I'm going to be on my way. Goodbye. He turned on his heel and strode gallantly back to his carriage. He waved to the people, thanked them, had his driver turn the carriage around, and off he went. His red carriage, drawn by they were white horses. 4 white horses in a red carriage. Whoosh, off they went, back to the palace of the king. We will leave the council people wondering in the center of the city or the town hall what they were going to do now. Okay, thanks for listening. Join tomorrow for the next part of Lenka and the Fisherman's Daughter. Have a good day.